How to manifest your dream job without taking action. Hello beautiful soul, welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach, and in this video I'm going to share with you how I manifested my dream job when I used to work in corporate London without taking action. So let's get started. How to manifest your dream job without taking action. So the first step to this is to actually get clear about what it is that you want. So this is your dream job. So make a list of what that is for you. For myself, when I used to work in corporate London, I didn't only just think about the role that I wanted. I also thought about the company that I wanted to work for, the vibe of the company. I thought about the team that I would be working with. So I had things like a really collaborative team that are uplifting and inspiring. And with regards to the company, a company whose ethos was that of joy and inspiration, a fun company, where they really allow the growth of their employees. I even thought about the type of manager I wanted and the type of people that I would be managing. I thought about all those things. So I want a manager that gives me autonomy, things like that. It wasn't just about the role. Right? That's one aspect of it, but think about it. You're going to be spending the majority of your day in your job. So you want to think about all the components of what makes it your dream job. And then of course I thought about the salary amount as well, how much I wanted to get paid. And I was very clear that I just wanted 9 to 5. So I wanted to be able to leave the office at 5 o'clock. So I thought about all these things and I wrote it down. Then the next step for me was to become the person that already had my dream job in my consciousness. So emotionally, I had to become the person that already had my dream job. I had to embody the emotions of what it would feel like to have my dream job. So what this means is that I had to identify, what is the emotion I would feel if I had my dream job? For me at that time, it was joy, right? It was joy and being in love with life. So then what I did is every day I would train my body to get into the energy of joy on demand. Although maybe there was nothing in my 3D reality to be joyful about, I was training my body to become familiar with the energy of joy so that eventually I became the energy of joy. So what this meant is that every day, in the morning, in the evening, and in between, I would take time out to disconnect from my 3D reality, to turn inwards, go within, and relax into the energy of joy. I would ask myself, what does joy feel like in my body right now? And then I would allow myself to relax into that emotion and into that energy for a couple of minutes. I would lose myself in the energy of joy, which represented my dream job. So I would do this first thing in the morning, and then I would do this throughout the day, even whilst I was working at my current job that wasn't my dream job. I would continue to evoke the energy of joy every hour. I would take time out to go within and do that. And I would do it before bed as well, a couple of minutes to be in the energy of joy. So I was changing my energy. That was step 2. Now, step 3 is probably one of the most important steps of all, which is I changed the way I felt about my current situation. So I was in a job where I felt undervalued and underpaid. And at the time I had a manager who was really micromanaging me, and I did not like it. And so this meant that I could either go into work every day and complain about my job, resent my current job, hate my manager, bitch about my manager. But I didn't, because I understood that if I did this, if I resisted where I was, then I wasn't able to change my energy. I understood that what I resist persists. So if I kept resisting where I was, if I didn't make peace with it, if I didn't find a way to change the way I felt about where I was, I would not be able to let in a new reality, because I would be stuck in the vibration of hate or the vibration of fear which wouldn't allow me to become a vibrational match to my dream job, which was that of joy. I understood that if I pushed against where I was, it would cancel out all the work I was doing to get into the energy of joy. And I also understood that if I didn't change my vibration and prioritize joy, that would follow me. So I could have maybe left that job and just found the next best thing, but then I would attract the same thing from this new job because I haven't yet changed my vibration. I was leaving this job from the vibration of I don't want to be here. And I understood that. So instead, I decided to go all in with changing my energy, which meant I decided to change the way that I felt about where I was. And the way that I did this is I asked myself, how can I make it fun? How can I make where I am fun? From the understanding that the goal is to change my energy. So by making peace with where I am, it doesn't mean that I'm accepting where I am or that the universe is going to keep me where I am. It's about becoming a vibrational match to my desires and prioritizing that so that I can allow in my dream job. So every day I would go in and I would make it fun. So for me, I would do things like I would give myself little challenges. So say I would have a project. I would say to myself, let me see if I could finish this in 2 days instead of 3, because maybe the deadline was 3 days. So I'd make it into a little game and I would make sure that I took breaks every hour to go into the energy of joy, and this was something I look forward to. For me, also something that made it fun was every day I would go into work and I would get myself a chocolate croissant and a Starbucks, and that would really make me feel lighter. It was like something that I look forward to. So I would find ways to make it fun, so much so that one day I was walking into the office and the director walked in at the same time as me and said to me, "You look far too happy to be working here." And in that moment, that was sort of this internal confirmation for me to know that my energy really had shifted, because I really was feeling joyful going into work. Although it wasn't my dream job, I had managed to change my energy and begin to appreciate where I was. Like, I remember appreciating the fact that I had a paycheck every month coming in, appreciating the fact that I had a job, and then making it fun for myself so that instead of resisting where I was making peace with where I was by making it fun and by appreciating it. Now, I can tell you that this really allowed me to speed up anchoring myself in the vibration of joy. This allowed me to become a vibrational match to my dream job very quickly. And this is what unfolded next. Firstly, because I was in this energy of joy, there was movement. So internally in the same company, I was offered another role where they were giving me a 10K pay rise. Now, the role that they offered me wasn't my dream job. It wasn't the role that I was looking for, and it wasn't the pay that I had put down on my list when I got clear about what I wanted. On my list, the pay that I wanted would equate to an 82% pay rise. So when I got the offer for this role, I kindly declined it because it wasn't my dream job. In the knowingness that my dream job was coming, because I remember I'd done the vibrational work, so I was already in that energy of joy. I knew that my dream job was coming to me and that I wouldn't have to lift a finger. And I'll talk about action in just a second. So I continued doing the vibrational work. I turned down this role, and most people at the time thought I was crazy, but I knew what I was doing. Why would I compromise when I was already in the energy of, I know it's done? Like, you just don't compromise. So I continued doing the work, and then one day I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we were talking about where we next saw ourselves in our career. And I was telling my friend, sharing with this friend that, that I was looking to move and that I didn't want to be in this current role. And, I wanted a position as this, X, Y, and Z. And then this friend turned around and said to me, "You know what? I know somebody and I think that you would be a perfect fit. Do you want me to connect you guys?" And I said, "Yes, sure." So this person was like, "Okay, no problem." So then I get an email from somebody who was like, "We're looking for somebody to fit this role. Do you want to send your CV?" Right, this connection of my friend. So I emailed this person my CV, and they reach out and they say, "Let's meet up for coffee." So I go, we meet up for coffee, they explain the role to me, and within 5 minutes, I was so excited about this role. In fact, I didn't even know this role existed in my industry, but it was something that really excited me. And then they go on to say that I already got the job. So this is like 5 minutes in. And then they write down what my salary would be. And they, show me it on a piece of paper, and inside I'm laughing because I'm like, it's exactly the amount that I wrote down on my list of what I wanted. It equated to my 82% pay rise. So the way that this unfolded meant that, number one, I never took action to try and make my manifestation happen. I was never looking for it. I was never searching for it. I was committed to the vibrational work. That was the only thing that mattered to me. So I wasn't putting myself out there. I wasn't networking. Instead, I focused on the emotion. I focused on embodying the emotions of my manifestation. Number two, when I saw movement, I could have settled for less. I could have compromised, but I didn't. I stayed faithful to the end result. I stayed in that emotion of joy of having my dream job. And then finally, my dream job came to me without me really having a formal interview. It was just through a 5-minute discussion through coffee. It was like, the job is yours. Whereas previously, to get the job that I had currently had, I went through this vigorous interview process with all these tests and all these things. Whereas this was so easy. The bridge of events unfolded that my friend happened to connect me with somebody who was looking for that position to be filled. And again, I wasn't looking for it. Like when I was speaking to my friend, I wasn't thinking, now my friend is going to connect me with my dream job. Like I didn't even know my friend knew somebody, right? This was in casual passing conversation that my friend was like, oh, I know somebody. Do you want me to connect you? And at that point I responded, yeah, sure. And that is how it unfolded. And that is how I manifested at the time. That was my dream job in corporate London. And I had a wonderful time there. Wonderful team, wonderful manager. Everything that I wrote down came true. And I really enjoyed the role that I had at the time until, I went deeper into my spirituality and into universal principles when I sort of came to the realization that I no longer wanted to work in the corporate world. I then wanted to go into coaching and doing this. In which case I then also manifested that by doing the internal work. And if you want me to make a video on how I did that, you can drop me a message in the comments below and I will make a video about that if you want to know about that. But that is how I was able to manifest my dream job. It was via changing my frequency. So I got clear about what I wanted, then I became an energetic match to it. So to recap, how I manifested my dream job was by following these 3 steps. Number 1, I got clear about what I wanted. I thought about all the components of the dream job, not just the role or the salary, but also like what the team would feel like, what the manager would feel like, what the team I managed would feel like, what the company felt like. I got clear about all those things. Number 2, I began to embody the energy of my manifestation of my dream job. So I distilled it down to one emotion that I would feel if I had my manifestation. And every day, I would train my body to relax into this emotion so that it became my dominant vibration. And then number 3, one of the most important steps, in my opinion, was making peace with where I was, right? I stopped resisting where I was. I stopped condemning where I was. Instead, I asked myself, how can I make this fun so that I could change my vibration around where I was, so that I could allow in my manifestation, so that I could really hold that vibration of joy consistently. Once I did this, I activated the bridge of events, which then unfolded, which allowed me to manifest my dream job. And something that you want to note is during this process, you might be presented with other manifestations that are close to what you want, but not exactly what you want. So for me, I got offered a role initially as movement that was a 10K pay rise, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted, even in terms of the role. And I could have settled for that, but I didn't. I stayed faithful to the end. I kept going into the energy of joy, and then eventually manifested my dream job without looking for it or searching for it. It came to me because I became a vibrational match to my dream job. Now, if you would like to go deeper into everything I have shared here today, if you would like a step-by-step roadmap that shows you how to manifest anything that you desire, you can get your hands on my manifestation courses by clicking the link below in the description box. Also, if you would like to learn how I was able to change my reality in just 15 minutes and manifest a completely different outcome, then you can watch my video here next. This technique worked in just 15 minutes. Finally, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful evening. Mwah.